I care for my two daughters. They both have what's called schizoaffective disorder. That's a serious mental illness. It's kind of not as bad as schizophrenia, but it's kind of worse than bipolar disorder. They took ill when they were 19. They're twins. One of them took ill. It was very sudden. She was away at college and she just became very ill. It was a big shock for the whole family, and particularly for her twin sister. So within a month, her sister was in hospital too. I didn't know anything about mental illness, and I had to learn very quickly. You don't know what questions even to ask the nurses. The nurses are busy anyway. You don't really get to see the doctor, and you're just in a fog. You don't know where to turn. One day, whenever I was at the hospital, I saw a poster for cause, and it said on it, "Do you have a relative with a serious mental illness?" And my reaction to that was no, which was, I suppose I was in denial. But I wrote the number down anyway of the helpline, and a few weeks later, just when my second daughter was becoming very ill as well, I was kind of in desperation. I had talked to my family and friends and they'd been very supportive, but none of them knew anything about it either. And I thought, I'm going to phone this helpline. And that was a major step for me. It was a lifeline. For the first time, I spoke to somebody who knew what I was talking about. I knew that that person had been there. I did a course with Cause, and that was fantastic. One of the times we talked about recovery. What does recovery mean? And I thought, my first reaction was, it means getting my girls back the way they were. And as that morning went on, I realised that that's not what recovery is. I had my daughters at home with me, and they weren't still very well, and some days were harder than others. And when that happened, when it was difficult, I was able to get support from the Cause Carer Advocate at the course and also from the other participants on the course. And similarly, I felt I was able to support them, which was good for me. Doing that course was something that just had so many pluses for me. It helped to give me confidence. It helped me feel less isolated. And it gave me loads and loads of information about mental illness and about figuring out how I could cope. And it was very much personalised. I got lots of chance to think about my situation and how I was going to do it, and about my relationship with my daughters. I do feel I have someone to fall back on. When things are bad, I can phone, and I have done on lots of occasions. Just phone to talk to somebody. For somebody who has a relative who's just been diagnosed with a serious mental illness, I would say find out as much as you can about it, because knowledge is power, and Cause is a brilliant source of information. And I would also say, if you can get the chance to do a carer's course with Cause, go for it, because that's a major step in understanding and accepting and just feeling as if you're not on your own, that there's always somebody you can talk to who will understand what you're going through.